What is it that America will be shocked at when they read Above the Law?
Well, I think, first of all, I tried to present it as a historically accurate account to tell the story and to make sure this never happens again. And when I say this, I mean the attempt to subvert President Trump, to prosecute members of his administration. You look at what's happening with General Flynn currently, and you just have to think this is not the way it's done, and this can never happen again in our nation's history. And I think fundamentally, we had a few bad actors at the Department of Justice, a couple at the top of the FBI, and I think they didn't follow the rules. They did not follow regular order. They cut corners, and ultimately we had a criminal investigation into a president of the United States that had no evidence to justify the investigation's existence.
Somebody who's been saying what you just said for quite some time is Congressman Devin Nunes of California, who, by the way, gave your book a glowing review, which is a nice bump for it. But I think a lot of us are really maybe not just frustrated, we're concerned that the FBI has lost a lot of its credibility. Can it get it back?
I think it can. There are a lot of good men and women at the FBI that work hard every day outside of the attention of the lights and cameras to make sure that they keep us safe and protect us from really some of the bad actors that are out to get American citizens. But that being said, people want accountability. Everywhere I've gone since I left the Department of Justice, that's what I hear is, when is somebody going to be held accountable? I think that day is coming. Bill Barr has said that John Durham, the U.S. attorney from Connecticut that is looking into the origins of the Russian collusion fable, has targets that he is investigating people, and I think we should get some accountability as soon as this summer.
Some of the things that I think trouble us, you talk about this in the book, Above the Law, but it's that there seems to be a double standard of justice. People like Andrew McCabe, who was in the very highest levels of the FBI, basically what he did was supposedly just maybe lacking candor. Yet Michael Flynn was convicted of basically being entrapped by an interview. He was not under oath. This is troubling if the law enforcement people are held to a standard that is much lower than the people who are being investigated and yet didn't even know they were investigated.
Well, in my book, Above the Law, I talk about this double standard, and this is the exact example that I give, is Andy McCabe, who lied to federal agents, just like General Flynn was alleged to have done, except his lying was actually material to an ongoing investigation, the leak of classified information. And so, I think that you can't look at both those cases side by side and suggest that somehow Andy McCabe was given a walk and General Flynn was put through, quite frankly, the fires of hell, and now continues to have to fight with a judge who wants to start an extrajudicial process to try to make sure that he is prosecuted when the government has said, we are no longer pursuing this case.
You've been between two attorney generals, Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr. You're watching this situation with General Flynn and Judge Emmett Sullivan, who said, I'm not just going to drop it, even though the DOJ says they're not going to prosecute it. I mean, that has to be a stunning development, is that the judge himself, you've been a U.S. attorney, you've been attorney general. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I haven't, and this is one of the themes of my book, is that we need to return to the rule of law, and everyone needs to follow the rules. The federal rules of criminal procedure do not allow a judge to insert himself into the judgment of whether or not to pursue a case. The prosecutor has the charging decisions. The prosecutor, which is the executive branch, has throughout, all of our years of our Anglo-American system of justice, for hundreds of years, the executive branch has always been the ones to pursue cases. Judges provide the venue to pursue that, to make sure the rights are protected and that evidence is properly admitted or excluded. But, this is, I have never seen anything like this before in my life, and I think it is very dangerous to the confidence of the American people in our system of justice if a judge is going to put his thumb on the scale.
Matt, I think that's why your book is so important. I'm so grateful that you wrote it. I hope people will read it because you had a front row seat to the history of all of this in a way no one else did. And I'm sure people are going to be shocked as well as enlightened when they read it. So glad to have you here with us, Matt. Thank you very, very much. Well, Keith
My
Bilbrey
pleasure.
is standing by. He's going to tell you how to get Matt Whitaker's revealing new book. Keith, tell us how to do it.
And it's flying off the shelves right now. Get your copy of Above the Law on Amazon or your favorite bookstore. And follow the former acting attorney general on Twitter at Matt Whitaker 46 or his website, MatthewGWhitaker.com.